Christina, Synergetic Mind, November 4th, 2024. Synergetic Mindful Intuitions Anticipatory Design Science Resource refers to our Buckminster Fuller Synergetics' highest integrity of engagement when consciousness is not overly inundated by the contemporary relative insanity that is technically attempting to control the universal communications process. Please copy-paste provided links for your research convenience. Beginning with Synergetics Table of Contents. Ongoing events involve everyone. Events can be identified a number of ways as Synergetic Mind's consciousness evolution awareness of the accurate terminology employed by its anticipatory thought in this 21st century's finite scenario universe that is momentarily liberated from the PRJW politics, religion, justice, war, contextual parameter. This potentially happens to occur to the imagining, consciously clarifying, information gathering, and information disseminating self, the observer, as a nucleus, and the non-simultaneously receptive others, each of whom likewise is a nucleus when contemporarily sharing a concern of events. To learn from our Buckminster Fuller Synergetics dictionary that events are changes of interrelationships between a system's separate constituent characteristic things. Its minimum number of separate parts is decidedly different from clinging to any of the PRJW motivating factors as a reliable reality basis for independently controlling all the freedoms that humans have been designed by the sublime eternal intelligence to independently exercise, correlating to survival and support of human life at every turn of events. Instead of those corrupting, influencing motivations, metaphysical intellect as a function of omni-rational universe, it's synergetically advantaged to learn that systems divide all of universe. Synergetics 6.35. This means to say that when conscious awareness is informed that thoughts are systemic of systems, then the individual's thoughts can be recognized essential for the brain's imaginable, tune-inable realities, the metaphysical conceptuality of which is a function of the individual's evolving synergetic mind and the regenerative patterning integrities of a potentially evolving referential system's complex periodic interactions, its cycles of recurring events. By differentiating universe's physical special case, time, size, frequency from universe's metaphysical conceptualities that are independent of time, size, frequency, tunability, synergetic minds, consciously evolving considerations naturally can be independent of the inherited constraints. It's all-encompassing, destructively inclined, contextual parameters. Our 21st century generations ought to recognize what the previous generations of humans on Earth failed to clarify respecting the nature of systems that eventually were clarified by our Buckminster Fuller in the 20th century, albeit not having been adopted by academia as a potential liberating thought or language communications process. Now, though, with concentrated effort by forthright education applications, referential to RBF Synergetics and my having written two useful comparative acronyms, PRJWBCHM and UIVMOFCH, then 21st century self-inaugurated education, as a research writing process is free to contribute its systemic thoughts, evolving insights and outlooks resulting from the anticipatory intention to contribute to TUCP, the Universal Communications Process, as receptive media facilitates encouraging public platforms without bias and shadow banning. Shadow banning typifies defensively provoking contempt for freedoms of speech that in generalized principle are integral design integrities of the human mind's natural affinity to consciously evolve out of every degree of the slave mentality conditioning that bedeviled generations of our intelligently evolving species, humans of the eternal, sublime minds, indescribable intelligence that is beyond all space and time, the omniscience of which is transcendental in its velocity to the speed of all radiation. If not the eternal mind that is inadequately called God, and which is more accurately knowable as universe, eternal, omniscient mind, how can it be possible to liberate anticipatory design, science, systemic thoughts, metaphysical generalized conceptioning from the corruptions of the PRJW, competitive monetary accumulating intentions that ignorantly continue to destroy the world local, to where humans awaken each day, every day in a lifetime, to losses devised by the indifferent mindsets who are compelled to exploit and profit by systemic interdependence on the PRJW interrelating, interacting factors without clarifying vectorial orientation and observations that we can read and write about, found in Synergetics 513.00 through 513.08. Where else are we informed that the residual inaccuracies increase the tolerance magnitudes of the reenacting articulations and continue unabated, with rationalized indifference to the debilitating slave mentality conditioning as a byproduct of the PRJW economies? Perhaps it is time to add M for money to this acronym's contextual parameter, referring to it now as PRJWM, politics, religion, justice, war, money. Let us recall that the observer is a nucleus. While clarified, this must go for every observer, everyone's potentially consciously coordinating systemic thoughts awareness of Synergetics' general systems thinking, which commences with universe's closest packing uniradius spheres that at minimum are 4 spheres for the tetrahedron, 6 spheres for the octahedron, 12 spheres for icosahedron, and vector equilibrium, its alternate. We are experientially, experimentally advantaged to imagine these topologically assembled aggregates as integral quantitative volume shown in Synergetics color plate number 9, where the rhombic dodecahedron and other integral polyhedrons were unknown to us before. The observer's contemplations as its imagination's ability to formulate conceptually are potentially inspired from a reality basis resource unknown to previous generations, found now in Buckminster Fuller Synergetics. Without the PRJW BCHM, politics, religion, justice, war, money, belief, complex, hierarchical matrix, and most recently the UIVMOFCH, universe, isotropic, vector, matrix, operational field, cosmic hierarchy, projected comparisons, it seems unlikely that our humanity could ever liberate its inherent freedoms of systemic thought from the oppositely directed, destructively delusional, inducing intentions imaginably. And as we can read in Synergetics 526.35, thought by nature is not a belief, nor any convincing, inculcating intention to indoctrinate humans in any form of slavery. Thoughts are systemic of systems. The systems that divide all of universe are what our species, humans of the eternal all-knowing mind, are designed to recognize integrally to consciously thinking, relatively to problem considerations as thought begins. Thought begins as two spheres come together, which logically is as self the observer and the other as the observer of events. It is reasonable to suppose an inherent survival proclivity as the most economic way systems can behave relative to unity in self and universe when closely associated with conceptual interaccommodating systemic thought independent of size during any local problem consideration. The beauty of projecting research writing as contributions to TUCP Internet media platforms liberates the actively experiential experimental mind from the specialized scientific peer review publications, since by nature humans not only are insatiably curious as a self-testing experiential experimental species, but we also oscillate between our metaphysical propensities and physical incarnations, which logically does not omit the most actively regenerating inputs correlated to feedback circuits that are repressed when concerned not to be shadow banned or rejected from specialized accreditations that over the years has proven to be selective depending on funding and other PRJWM, BCHM reward or punishment motivations. This is increasingly obvious to my observations and non-identically repetitive irreversible video productions as I continue to develop and upload the evolving productions to YouTube, referentially to Buckminster Fuller Synergetics as an innate design function, correlating to self-inaugurated education, including others in the consciously evolving universal communications process. Until next time, thank you from Christina's Synergetic Mind.